Hi, everybody. My name is Tony Ann Marcolini. Welcome to the podcast. It may interest you to know. Today, I have with me Jacob Ashton, and he's got like a really interesting story to tell. And he's a cancer survivor, and you're gonna see he's young and enthusiastic. It's not the typical survivor that you expect, and just an illustrious career already at such a young age. So I'm just gonna dive right in and say, welcome, Jacob.
All right, thank you for having me.
Okay, so you have a backstory already at such a young age, right? You were in the military.
Yeah, yeah.
How does that happen?
I joined the army at 22. I was an infantryman stationed overseas in Germany for 3 years. Got out after my first contract, and then went right to community college.
Right. So then you have your eye even past that, right? You've got this, you're a veteran, you go to community college and you want to keep going. So you apply to Columbia.
Yes, so I applied to Harvard, Columbia, and Princeton. I was eventually accepted into Columbia University.
So now you're on top of the world, right? I mean, you're going to, an Ivy League school is kind of a dream come true. You've successfully navigated your term for the military, and you get some bad news. What can you tell us? What happened?
Sure, sure. The summer before I started my semester at Columbia University, I took a look in the mirror and I saw that there was a lump that was on my hip. I was on vacation. I tried to put it to the side and not worry about it. When I got home, I went to the VA hospital. They poked it with their finger and said, "That's nothing at all. Don't worry about that." They eventually decided to do a biopsy on it, and they confirmed that it was cancer. They said that it was a liposarcoma, which is cancer of the fat cells. They had me finish out my first semester at Columbia University. And then, right when the semester ended, I was getting ready for my surgery. They removed my tumor, declared that I was cancer free, but then they said that I would need to get radiation and chemotherapy. I was told to drop out of school so I could begin radiation therapy. So I dropped out during the spring semester. I started getting prepared for the radiation. And I told the VA that I would like to get a second opinion at a private cancer center called Memorial Sloan Kettering. I was eventually approved to go there, and their doctors said that there was only a 10% chance of it coming back. So they recommended that I didn't do any radiation or chemotherapy. Meanwhile, the VA radiation oncologist said I had a 50% chance of surviving the next 5 years. And I put my faith in the Sloan Kettering Center rather than the VA, and I'm really lucky that I did.
Yeah. So now Columbia gives you a medical leave, right? So
Yes.
that you have the chance to focus on this. Um, I mean, surviving cancer, I mean, being in that room, right? I'm a cancer survivor myself. Hearing the words, I mean, at any age, right, is a true kind of kick in the shin. Um, but at your age, I mean, you must have been in disbelief, right? I mean, you're so young.
I believe I was 27 or 28 at the time. I still remember it like it was yesterday. I got the call from the VA. They said that they wanted me to come in and review the lab results from the biopsy. And I said, I can't wait any longer. Please just tell me what it is right now. I remember being in the dining hall eating breakfast on campus, and I had to go into the other hallway just so I could hear better. And right after they said that I was diagnosed with cancer, I thanked them and I called my girlfriend and told her about it.
Yeah. Those are moments that stick with you forever, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Um, you went through with your treatment. Uh, to what extent, though? What did Sloan Kettering have you do?
They did not want me to do any radiation or chemotherapy. They said that because there was only a 10% chance of my tumor ever coming back, they said that radiation would harm me more than it would benefit me.
Yeah. So you're cancer-free still. I assume they're monitoring you.
Yes, I go in every couple of months for MRIs and CT scans.
How did it change your life? What kind of impact has it had on you?
I I changed my major, I changed my career path. I realized that I was focusing on making a living and trying to chase a paycheck, and I wasn't chasing something that would make me happy in the long run.
Mm.
I, at the time, I was going to major in economics and try to work in investment banking. I was told that you might be working 80-hour weeks, but at least you'll have a lot of money. And I realized at that point that I would have went down a career path that I wouldn't have cared about, and I wouldn't have had the time to have a girlfriend, to get married, have kids, and that's not the kind of life that I would want. So I decided to start rearranging my life and adjusting my goals and do things that actually make me happy.
So what did you pursue?
I changed to political science with focus on international relations, and I'm currently working as a director at a nonprofit organization.
Yeah, it's funny. Not funny, but what's interesting, I think, is when you hear and you have cancer and you go through anything, right? It really does change your priorities. You realize the importance of, you know, joy, right, in your life. Like I think like for me, I was probably working 80-hour weeks, when I found out and you're you're kind of overwhelmed with, oh my goodness, this could be it, right? Because you always think there could be more. And then to think, man, maybe there isn't anymore. So I think one of the reasons I love your story is because it's about reinventing yourself, right? Chasing joy, maybe letting cancer be a divine tap on the shoulder. Um,
Yeah.
that kind of readjusts your goals and has a positive effect as opposed to just a negative one.
Yeah, of course. And it also helped me realize who my true friends and family members were. I took notice of who was there for me when I was going through treatment versus who never reached out at all to ask if I was okay. Not that I would hold any friendship. I don't place value on the things that people do for me, but even a simple text message to say, "Hey, I heard what happened. Are you okay?" That's all I would need. And some lifelong friends, never heard from them. I
Right.
decided that is over with.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's an important point that you're making, because I've heard this story more than once, like from survivors, that talk about the system, the core support system that you have. And oftentimes I think we go through life and we expect our support system to be a certain person or persons. I've heard various stories, and it's not, right? I mean, I think when you see who's ultimately there for you, you put so many things in perspective. I mean, cancer is a horrible thing, but in many ways, especially obviously if you can be a survivor with it, it does put so many things in perspective for you. It really is. It's a bucket of water in the face, right? About making changes. Like for me, I made changes to everything about my life, right? I decided, 80-hour work weeks weren't for me, and I adjusted, my career. I adjusted my food, right? Because a lot of people are not aware of the impact that food can have on your health. So I adjusted my diet, exercise, prayer, meditation, stress techniques, to better deal with it. All those things are so important for your health, and I think are skipped over, right? And I think that that helps, when you experience something life-threatening, you suddenly realize maybe I want to make some changes. Maybe, if I want to choose to live, I've got to make changes.
Yeah.
So, and now that you're on the other side of it, do you think of it as like yourself before cancer and after cancer, right? It's a different you.
I do. I do. Before then, I would hold on to grudges, and I wasn't completely negative all of the time, but I realized that little things that used to bother me, they don't matter anymore.
Right.
Um,
If you could give advice to somebody going through it, I think especially since you have that young person's perspective, what would it be?
it would be to cling to your, not cling to, but to have a strong support system and get professional help, whether that's a therapist, a psychologist, or even a therapist that specializes in oncology. A general therapist would be great, but my girlfriend was the rock that helped me out throughout most of my journey. After my surgery, she decorated my apartment with signs and flowers that said cancer free. I had no idea about this. I woke up and when I got back to my apartment, I just saw all these surprises. She took off of work for 2 weeks and stayed with me and ensured that I could shower, sure that I could eat and everything. So I would have a really good support system with you while you're going through it, and you don't do it alone.
And I think that the important thing is to go with your gut in terms of treatment as well, right? Because sometimes you do want to go get that second opinion.
Definitely. I'm really glad that I got that second opinion.
Yeah, I mean, and yeah, I think you have to be driven somewhat by your gut. I think there's a tendency of rushing right into something because you're getting one medical opinion that's saying, and it's got to be done, like right now. But th it doesn't hurt to get a second opinion, right? Before you make a decision. These are big decisions.
Yeah, definitely. I know that radiation and chemotherapy most likely would have had long-lasting effects on me. So if you're in that situation, I would recommend getting a second opinion if it's within your financial means to do it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because especially for a young person, I mean, it can impact the ability to have children. You can wind up getting secondary cancers from treatment. There's a whole host of issues, right? So you want to make sure if you're going that route, you need to go that route. Like there aren't other options, that you've exhausted your other possibilities. Um, yeah, I mean, it's an important story to tell because you're so positive, right? I see your posts, you're pretty active on social media and see your posts and you're really about sending positive messages. And that's why I wanted to talk to you because I think we need more positive stories.
Think we do too.
So, what's ahead for Jacob?
I'm putting in my application right now for a master's program at Columbia University. I'm applying for my master's in international affairs, where I'm going to focus on technology policy and innovation, or international security and diplomacy. I'm hoping to one day work for the State Department or in some aspect of the government where I'm able to travel, help people, and make some type of difference in the world.
I love that. I love that. And you'll do it. You're a very smart young man.
Thank you.
Well, I really just wanted to highlight your story. I want to thank you for being here with me. Um, I, I think, I think we should all tell, our stories when we have a positive one, especially survivor stories are important, aren't they?
Yeah,
Uh, they're kind of a beacon of hope, I think, for people going through it, that you can get to the other side of it and live, and it can be okay. And if anything, to try to, that old expression, make lemonade out of lemons, but and then you should try to use it to really evaluate your life and make some changes. Um, Money isn't everything, right?
Yeah, of course. I feel like I was given a second chance at life. Growing
Absolutely.
up, I didn't have my life together. I had a 1.9 GPA in high school.
Mm.
Going into the army gave me really good role models and good mentors, and it helped me put a good head on my shoulders. But then going through cancer, that helped me rearrange everything. And now I feel like I'm on an upward trajectory where I could hopefully impact people in a positive way.
Yeah. Oh, I see you doing it. I mean, you're so positive, on social media. You're always connecting people, trying to help make a difference, not just for yourself, but for other people. And I took notice of that. Um, and I figured this is somebody, I know the signs, right? Going through it myself. This is somebody who's been deeply impacted by his journey. And that's again why I love to highlight those kind of positive stories, because I do think it's important to tell your story, right? It's important to say, "Hey, you can be okay. You can find the light at the end of this tunnel, and it's okay to pivot." People don't want to pivot, right? They want to say, "No, no, no, I've been on this, straight line to do this." It's okay to pivot. It's okay to go. I got to find the joy. I've got to find something. It's okay to pick a career that you're going to be happy, and figure out the rest as you go. I love this podcast because it gives me a chance to talk to creative people, and I wanted to do that. I think creativity is so important and undervalued. And so, I mean, I think that also helps. You've moved your mind towards how can I create a space, in the world to make a difference? What can I think up? What can I do? What can I offer? And I want to really commend you for that.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate it.
So thank you for being here. I hope you keep telling your story and you keep rolling along, with your positive message. I'm here for it.
Thank you so much.
Okay, I'm going to close the podcast. I'm going to thank Jacob, wish him luck in his future, and say, take the time to take care of yourself, everybody. It's important.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.